Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 11 of Chat, Grapple, and Cheap Pops podcast with myself, Chris Dredd, and my main man, JB. What's going on, my friend?
All good, all good. This is a fun one.
He's still coming with the funky background. I'm loving it.
Yeah, still.
It's good. It's good shit, man. It's good shit. So, yeah, man. Episode 11. We are now into the tenses of our podcast. We've had 10 down, and now we're moving into the second decade of the podcast. And I think this one's going out a little bit later than what we would usually do. I think we've both just been mad busy. Me,
Yeah, we've been
especially.
busy guys. We've got a lot to do.
You know, that's the thing, because as we keep saying, we're working guys, and we have to do this in our free time when we can. So
It's like Heath Slater, we got kids.
We got kids, baby.
Yeah, and they need feeding. So
they do, unfortunately. They eat a lot as well.
Yeah.
So it is episode 11, Chat, Grapple, and Cheap Pops podcast. You can catch us on YouTube, as you are probably watching us right now. You can also catch us on various podcast platforms. And we're very happy with the amount of subscribers that we're getting as well. It's slowly rising, and we are extremely grateful for that. So thank you, people. So you can catch us on YouTube at Chat, Grapple, and Cheap Pops podcast. You can catch us on the Twitter. JB is currently posting figure porn all over Twitter.
There's more to come.
He's actually the dick swinging contest. Jordan is winning right now. He's posting all of his figures on there. He's got his Johnson out and he's swinging it proudly. It's beautiful to see, because, as he said on Twitter, collectors just keep collecting. That's what we do. And we get as excited now about a great figure that we find as we did when we were kids.
We do.
So yeah, he's on the Twitter. Mostly it'll be Jordan on there, and I will occasionally jump in with some bullshit on there. So you can catch us on YouTube, you can catch us on Twitter and have a chat with us. We've now got the Facebook group, Chat, Grapple, and Cheap Pops podcast group on Facebook. We are on the various what's that?
List them off. List them all off.
List them off, bro. The podcast platform. So we've got Podbean, Spotify, Deezer, Castbox, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Listen Notes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and probably loads more that we have forgotten. So we're taking over. We're everywhere. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. And what are we covering today, Jordan, my man?
We have travelled back in our time machine, and we've made it all the way back to November 1991. It's Thanksgiving. It's a wonderful time for everyone and their families, apart from Hulk Hogan, who will take on his gravest challenge, and he's got to tackle the meanest of all the marks. See what I did there? And this is Undertaker, unbeaten on TV. He's not selling anything. He's beating everybody in sight, and in some way he's become the number one contender, which is strange because we thought Ric Flair would go straight into that spot, but he didn't.
This will be a constant theme for me during this podcast is, why the fuck was the Flair Hogan thing never done? Because it never was done, was it, in WWF at this time?
They did it on house shows of all places.
The big WrestleMania event that should have been Hogan, Flair. And, you know, at this time, Flair was absolutely white hot.
Oh, he's on fire.
Absolutely on fire. And you had Hogan, who was absolutely on fire. And for whatever reason, they wanted to do it on house shows, and they did it on, like you say, doing it on house shows. It should have been a huge spectacle.
They did the house show run on in all the big towns. Yeah, they did it in New York, LA, and stuff like that, and it sold pretty well. But obviously, it never made it to WrestleMania, and I think that was probably the original plan. Hogan, Flair. Hogan decided he didn't want to carry on after WrestleMania for a bit, so Vince had to change his plans. But before all of that happened, we are very quickly welcomed to the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit before we are cut away to the previous week's superstars. And possibly one of the greatest angles in, I mean, is it wrestling history? Are we giving it that one? One of the best ones?
I would say for shock factor value,
Yeah.
I would say for originality and just for, you know, for realism as well. There was people genuinely crying in the crowd and screaming
This is
in the crowd.
angle. This is so good. And like I said, we're cut away to the previous week's superstars and the despicable act of Jake the Snake Roberts. He gets
not as despicable as what he was wearing when he came out to do his interview at Survivor Series.
I've got that in me notes. I mean, nothing says heel like leather trousers and cowboy boots, but we will get to that.
Fucking brilliant stuff.
Yeah. Savage was in the midst of trying to get reinstated. He'd lost to Warrior at WrestleMania 7. He was no longer a heel. He'd, gone back with Elizabeth. They'd married at SummerSlam. All of that silly stuff. So Jake ruined the wedding, didn't he, by having a snake pop out of a present or
Cake.
Out of a box.
Oh, with the box, weren't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And Jake had been goading Savage pretty consistently on TV, and Savage finally went down to have a look at the ring and all of that. Just going down there to have a look. And he gets tied up in the ropes. And mate, who the fuck thought of this angle?
Well, there is a beautiful breakdown of what happened backstage surrounding all of this between Jake the Snake Roberts and Macho Man Randy Savage on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
So Jake the Snake Roberts went on to Joe Rogan's podcast. He was talking about this incident, and he was talking about, the fact that Macho Man Randy Savage made Jake get the snake and bite himself with it to prove.
Sure, yeah.
That was Randy. Just paranoid. I mean, to be honest, it's a fucking cobra biting you. I mean, you're going to be a little bit.
Yeah, between that and agreeing to the angle in itself, I mean, it's not something you're going to work looking for, is it? What we're doing today, I'm going to get bitten by a cobra. All right, what time do we finish? Yeah.
Yeah, it's what an angle though. What an angle.
It's incredible. The only thing that bothered me about the angle, only tiny little thing, was that they were dubbing Liz screaming over it.
Right.
And that just annoyed me a little bit. I just think it didn't work. But apart from Vince screaming, I don't think that snake's been devenomized and all that, and Savage swinging at thin air, and it's just it's a lot of panic in the angle, and it just is so good.
Yeah, you've got Piper getting involved, coming in and hitting officials and trying to grab Randy out of the ring because he's hallucinating, he's delusional, he's dizzy, it was, and real talk, a snake was biting him, a cobra was biting him on the arm. That was no ifs or buts about it. It
There's
was
nothing
real.
to get around it, is there? It's a man being bitten by a snake on TV.
That's correct.
And yeah, that's one of the realest things we've seen on a fake wrestling show.
That's right, baby. That fake wrestling, baby.
Exactly. But don't worry, because people will say he knows how to fall.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So some people are sitting at home saying he knows how to take a snake bite.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, this goes to show you as well how good a worker Macho Man is, but how good Jake the Snake is. Jake Roberts, just his whole demeanor, his whole look, the way, you know, the snake was biting Randy on his arm, and Jake is slapping him in the face, you know, as he's doing it,
shaking the cobra as well, which can't feel good.
Oh no, I mean that snake was pissed.
Yeah,
Snake was fucking ornery, as they say, you know. Kids are crying, crowd, they're screaming, get him out, get him out.
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking insane, dude. This is 1991. You know, 30 years ago or whatever. It's insane.
Yeah. Jesus. Almost 30 years ago, I was 4. I saw this.
Man, I was 9 and it scared the fucking bejesus out of me.
Yeah, unbelievable angle. Our next cutaway is to Jack Tunney, the great president Jack Tunney, who can't allow Savage to participate at the Survivor Series. He takes blame for the incident himself, bans all reptiles from ringside for whatever that's worth, I guess.
I mean,
yeah, I don't understand that one. Savage is instantly reinstated and will face Jake the Snake at Tuesday in Texas, which we'll get to eventually, I guess.
Yeah.
Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan are
the dream team.
Yeah, is that your favourite one?
Yes, I would say the banter during this Survivor Series is just from beginning to end non-stop. Between them. Yeah. It's non-stop. It's fucking great. You know, even from this first little bit here where they're talking about, because you've got to remember as well, Heenan is in his element when he is wishing for the death of Hulkamania. Yeah. That's his thing. That's what he loves. You know, and the thought that the Undertaker will be killing Hulkamania tonight, he was absolutely salivating at the fact. It was great.
He's going to bury Hulkamania, all of that stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah, Gorilla and Bobby, your favourite team?
I would say so, man.
Yeah. I love Gorilla and Bobby. I think they probably are my favourite. I've got a lot of love for Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler, though. Like, I mean, a lot of stuff that Jerry says is probably really dated now. But... And also that trio over in WCW, I quite liked. I liked, when Bobby Heenan was there with Tony Schiavone and Dusty Rhodes.
That's the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
I don't know why that's so funny, but that was a great team too.
It was good because the dynamic was great. Because you you don't get no better than the director of Mudholes. You can't get no better than that. You know, the stomper becomes the stompee. You can't write that shit.
Limo Rickshaw, yeah.
Yeah, you can't train in Mexico with Limo Rickshaw. You know, that's the shit, baby. That's the American dream and the brain. It's just great stuff. You know, even at this beginning bit, they're talking about, Heenan's talking about Hulkamania is going to be in that casket, and then Gorilla says, "Oh, do you reckon they've got a weasel-sized casket?" You know, it's just literally from the word go. Yeah, they're just at each other's throats. It's great, fantastic.
Our first match of the evening, $1 Million Man, Mountie. I mean, what guy? The Warlord. We'll get to the Warlord. Give me a minute.
Okay.
And the real world champion, Ric Flair. With all the managers are there as well. Jimmy Hart, Sensational Sherry, Slick is there. Mr. Perfect, the executive consultant, Mr. Perfect.
The executive consultant.
Yeah.
Who did a fine job.
and Bobby Heenan just like really quickly gets in. Everyone should stand when Ric Flair makes his entrance. I'm already laughing. Like it's
great.
so quick. Flair has been carrying around the WCW title belt, the NWA title belt on TV, and at this point, he'd finally got his money back because he had to put a deposit on the belt from back in the day, and he never got it back. So he eventually got his money back. So at this show, when they digitized the belt, it's a WWF Tag Team title belt he's holding up, which is quite funny.
No way, that's crazy.
He finally got his money back, so he sent it back. Obviously, he's held up his end of the bargain, but they still wanted to do the belt thing on TV, so he held up a tag team title belt. It's quite strange.
I thought that whole angle was just brilliant.
Oh.
The real world champion, great.
Constantly calling out Hogan week after week. Yeah, we'd end up with Piper for a bit, but yeah, Flair was red hot here, and this team are taking on our Intercontinental Champion Bret Hart, who comes out in a beautiful pink jacket. I will say that.
Beautiful.
Babyface extraordinaire Virgil. How has he got the pop he gets in this match?
I mean, the angle where he split from the $1 Million Man was fresh at this time. He just got he just given back the $1 Million Man just got back his $1 million belt off Virgil.
Lost it at Survivor Series Showdown, which was like the week before. Yeah, lost it back to $1 Million Man. But yeah, Virgil is super over. Like I'd never seen anything like it. I mean, obviously you remember that people are over and stuff, but like it's Virgil. Like, well, I don't know what's
Vincent
anymore. Yeah, well, Virgil, Vincent.
It's Vincent.
And the other people on the team, Davey Boy Smith, British Bulldog, and Roddy Piper.
That's right.
That's a big match there.
I mean, this match, I would say, is your classic heels versus faces. It's your classic. The heels all have fucking managers.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. And the faces don't. All of the wrestling is beautifully choreographed, as in the fact that the heels do heely stuff and the faces do facey things. But they do resort to a couple of heely tactics just to counteract the heely tactics at some points. But it is just a very well balanced match.
Well, this is
I would say.
I mean, I've got on here on my notes big pops for every babyface that's in this match, including Virgil. Roddy Piper plants a kiss on Sherry, which probably wouldn't go down these days.
Yeah, I've got #MeToo written on the thing because all the managers have
an unwanted kiss. That was
an unwanted kiss. Yeah, it's all the managers have to go, but Sherry, for whatever reason, is still at ringside.
Yeah.
So she ends up getting like dragged into the ring, and then she cowers away from Piper. He turns around and he like jumps. She does the classic Sherry, and she jumps on his back.
Yeah.
And then obviously he spins her around and plants her one right in the kisser there.
Yeah. It wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
I've got here as well Ted, Brett, and the $1 Million Man are smooth as silk in the ring together.
I've got that because they keep $1 Million Man in the corner, the team, for a long while, but then it ends up Hart and $1 Million Man, and it's just great wrestling.
Oh yeah,
really good stuff.
Yeah, really good.
DiBiase is a fucking ring king. He's an absolutely great worker, $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase, shout out, dude. Great worker.
Came ever so close to winning world titles on a couple of occasions. Tried to buy it one time as well. That didn't really work out for him. But
one of the greatest heels to ever grace a ring, dude. $1 Million Man. The whole angle, how he was brought in with and literally he was living the life of Vince McMahon. That was the angle.
what a gimmick to have.
It's fucking great, mate.
Don't
and
don't travel it, without a limo and all this. Like, just giving them cash. Like, it's the gimmick of dreams, isn't it?
it's great, mate. And Ted was the one, man. He killed it. Absolutely fantastic.
There's big cheers from the male contingent when Flair gets in the ring for the first time. I noticed that, and I mean, it's fucking Ric Flair, for God's sake. He's already a legend in '91.
Yeah.
He's still in great shape. He's, can clearly work 45 minutes to an hour, because he'd only done that like in WCW as recently as the 1990. He eliminates Davey Boy pretty clean. Davey Boy doesn't get a lot in here.
There's a great moment. There's a few great moments. You've got so before that, you've got Flair and Davey Boy are in the ring. Okay, so Flair comes in and Davey Boy's giving him a thing. He does a couple of Flair flops.
Yeah. He gets them in early.
It's brilliant. He gets them in early, but then when the crowd are literally teetering on the edge, you can kind of see him say to Davey, "Tag Piper."
Yeah.
You can see him. He says, "Get Piper," because them two are having like a little to do. So as soon as he read and he heard what the crowd was doing, he just said to Davey, "Get Piper." And as soon as Davey Boy turned around and tagged Piper, that fucking crowd went through the roof. And that is the experience. A lot of people knock Ric Flair, dude. A lot of people knock him and say that they hate him.
Or, not on this show.
Not on this show, baby. No. But he knows. He's got that experience and he knows what to do, when to do it. And, he says, obviously, and as soon as Piper comes in, fuck me, that roof nearly comes off. And then Piper keeps hammering him, a couple of more Flair flops. It's great stuff.
Are you disappointed he wasn't wearing peach?
No, I mean, he came back out later on in a nice robe.
Yeah.
It was great. And he had, I'm telling you, the promo that Flair does.
Yeah, later on. Yeah. Wow.
Is absolute fucking gold, man. Absolute gold.
We have our winner of the ICO Pro Award this week in this match. Holy shit. The Warlord is jacked to fuck. Man.
I recently saw a picture on one of the groups that we're in Facebook, the NWA wrestling group, and there's a picture of Warlord with hair. It just looked very strange.
I mean, this guy he's beefed out to the max, isn't he?
Oh, he's a fucking, as Cartman would say, beefcake.
He has been clearly on those ICO Pro shakes, the protein bars. He's probably hitting the gym once or twice a week. And
let's not forget, you had powerhouses in this match like Davey Boy Smith.
He made him look small.
And Davey Boy gets in the ring with him. Yeah. Before that, though, you've got Davey Boy Smith literally like doing reps with the Mountie.
Yeah.
Like he's got the Mountie and he's doing reps with him, And, the Mountie's just being your classic heel, rolling out of the ring, running away, being a pussy.
Yeah.
Great stuff. But, yeah, Davey Boy gets in the ring with the Warlord and just looks,
the Warlord
average.
So he wins the ICO Pro Award this week easily. There was not a close second place, but we'll get to him later. Roddy Piper puts on a figure 4. The place loved the go. Again, the place is going mad for this. I'm amazed they didn't put this one on last.
Yeah, the way the matches went on this pay-per-view was a little bit weird for me.
It was.
The title match really should have been on last. I thought anyway.
Well, we understand why they didn't put it on last, and we'll get to it like when we cross that match. But Bobby Heenan is on fire. Nobody wants to tag the Mountie, so Bobby Heenan says Mountie missed the tag. He couldn't reach him. And then there's Virgil chants, like audible Virgil chants. I'm like, I'm in a different world.
You're in an alternate reality,
Yeah,
bro, where Virgil is over.
Some of the finishes in the Survivor Series matches in general were pretty poor. And this one in particular, I think it's just a Warlord gets a knock on the back of the head and Piper pins him clean. I'm like, oh, he just hit him like from like the second turnbuckle or something and hit him on the back of his head. That was it.
Yeah.
You get a lot of roll-ups as well. But Bobby Heenan's asking whether or not they get a rest after each ball. Yeah.
And he woos. Like, Heenan's wooing all the way through this pay-per-view. It's fun, but he's doing it with gusto as well. He's and he says, Tunney can distort the belt, but not the brilliance of Flair. You know, it's great stuff. You know, it's he's saying he says things like, "Oh, look at Flair. He hasn't even broken a sweat. If Hogan was in there, he'd be soaking wet and have lost 30 pounds." Yeah. Like,
I mean, there's a knock in there somewhere, isn't there?
It's brilliant. It's like Flair hasn't even broken a sweat, but Hogan would be soaking wet. He would have lost 30 pounds.
Heenan threatens
it's just great.
I may have you removed. It's like,
yeah, it's.
And yeah, when Heenan's in like full Flair mode, you know, you get the "Will you stop?" You know, he's like, you know, he's supposed to be a broadcast journalist, and
yeah,
and it's around this time that you sort of forget that there's a match going on because there's a little bit of bickering, and everyone gets in the ring because Flair's taking a bit of a beating from Piper, I think it is. And Flair sort of rolls out. The ref is all over the place. He loses complete control.
Yeah.
And he DQs everyone apart from Flair. So he can celebrate.
It's great. It's because Flair does the classic Flair bump. He does the thrown into the corner, does the whip, and then ends up outside. Yeah. It descends into madness in the ring. And then, the referee just fucking disqualifies everyone apart from Ric Flair. And then, you know, you've got Flair with his hand up in the middle of the ring and Heenan just going absolutely crazy.
Bobby Heenan suggests, he goes, I think Piper gave up. Like nothing was going on.
It's great.
And he gets to talk about the real world's champion. He does woo a lot here as well. The only thing that bugged me is we didn't see a lot of Hitman in this match. There wasn't a lot of him.
What we did see of him with $1 Million Man was absolutely fantastic.
And it's the perfect victory, as I think Heenan would say. And then, I mean, this is a much faster moving pay-per-view than some of the ones we've seen in this era, where there's a lot of interviews and backstage interviews and all that. I mean, eventually that starts to creep in. But in the arena, Mean Gene is out, and he's got the Macho Man. And again, massive pop. Huge pop for Savage. And he says that 97% of the people on the vote line that said that he should be reinstated. I thought that was hilarious. They were running vote lines to see whether Savage should be back or not. Who was the 3% that said no?
It was probably Heenan ringing up repeatedly.
Heenan, Jake, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how good did Macho look in his outfit? How good was his hat, dude?
Green and purple is absolutely wonderful.
Oh, it's beautiful. The feather was fucking beautiful in his hat.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's ever looked better than that. But yeah, he says that it was a living hell being bitten, and I fucking believe him. He was bitten by a snake.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a walk in the park, is it?
I refer everybody to, I won't tell the story, but Jake the Snake Roberts tells the story about what happened backstage to do with all of this. And it's funny as fuck. You might even be able to find the snippet. You might not have to watch the whole episode, but really you should watch the whole episode of Joe Rogan and Jake the Snake Roberts because it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But that you could probably find the snippet. And basically he says that Macho Man's arm just absolutely swelled up, like
Unbelievable,
absolutely huge after that.
Savage says he's going to be all over Jake like melting butter.
Yes.
Melting butter. What a great analogy. And
It's great.
you can ask Liz herself like what she thinks of all this, and she gets wheeled out. She gets a bigger pop than some of these other guys get later on. And she wants to thank everyone. She signs off with an "oh yeah," the same one she used when she agreed to marry Savage. Like it's
Classic.
It's classic like WWF era stuff, like that great 90 to 92 stuff. And they're working on getting Tuesday in Texas televised. That was from Gorilla and, well, it was Gorilla mainly. Bobby didn't really care. He was too busy trying to call Mr. Perfect in the back.
It was so good. He goes, I'm going to get on to Mr. Perfect in the back and find out what's going on and how they're feeling. And he plays it brilliantly because he literally picks up a phone, dials a number, waits, and you can hear him say, get me Mr. Perfect. He's just like, Heenan is the man. Heenan is the man. End of.
Our next match, it's another Survivor Series match. It's it's a squash, but we'll get through it. It was Colonel Mustafa, or the Iron Sheik, as we like to know him as, the Berserker, Skinner, and Hercules.
Hut.
Yeah, we have our managers at ringside, General Adnan and Mr. Fuji. Now, has Paul Roma left at this point?
I believe so. I think he was in WCW, but with someone weird.
93, he would end up in WCW. I know I've seen a few of them recently, like because he tagged with Arn Anderson with the Horsemen.
But I think before he was with someone else in earlier. I think he was with bloody hell. I saw a picture on that same group on Facebook of Paul Roma and someone else in WCW around that time, and it was someone really strange.
Well,
I don't know who that was, but yeah, I believe Paul Roma was
he's gone.
He was gone. It's
Hercules was wearing his Power and Glory gear.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. They're taking on Texas Tornado, El Matador, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Sergeant Slaughter. Now, can I call the American flag a cheap pop?
Yes, 100%. You can call it a cheap pop.
Thank God for that. Yeah, it clearly is a cheap pop. Like, there's a lot of USA chants in that during this match that you get to. But Bobby Heenan, when El Matador comes out, is that a hat or a chihuahua?
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
I've got that written down as well.
He really doesn't let go of it on this one. And Sergeant Slaughter had recently turned face. He was, I think he'd only just main evented SummerSlam with the Triangle of Terror and all that.
He says that they say he got his country back or something.
It. Yeah, he got his country back. Good Lord. And yeah, something I noticed, I don't know if you saw it. Could you tell that Tornado was running with a limp when he was running ropes?
Yes, you can. And sorry, mate, I'm just trying to look for this picture of bloody Paul Roma, and I can't find it. We will have to add that at some point. We'll come back to it in another episode because I swear he was in WCW at that time with someone really odd in a tag team. But the tassel factor on Kerry Von Erich is
something
times a million.
There's a lot of tassels, but then it is covering a leg, isn't it?
But this is what I think the reason for his tassels being that that much was because he probably had like some crazy knee brace thing to keep his prosthetic leg, you know, the foot like on, or his boot to keep his boots on.
I mean, you're probably right. It is probably covering the prosthetic, and that's fair enough. Like, we're not going to argue with that. He is a babyface. He can wear as many tassels as he wants.
No, but there's the thing: the baby face times tassel equals pops. You know, that's the formula.
And you know, Bobby is again. He's in prime sort of form. He's Gorilla asks for security. Bobby says, "Why are you going to have another hot dog?"
Yeah. he also says when Duggan gets in, he says, "Oh, there's 4 men in the corner," but when Duggan looks over, he sees 8. It's just gold.
He can't help himself, can he?
The whole family's punchy. His mum was punchy. He's been attacking Duggan from 1991 WWF all the way through to WCW.
Oh, it carries on like to no end, doesn't it?
Great.
Mustafa, or the Iron Sheik, is moving in slow motion. I noticed that. I don't know how old he is at this point, but he is definitely moving really slowly. And
he's not in great shape.
Well, I'm not sure if he's not in great shape. I think he's getting old. He still looks pretty muscular, you know, as they do. Ico Pro is what it is. And yeah, it's just slow motion. He gets hit with a weak clothesline by Sarge and gets eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, there was no time for him to be fucking anyone in their ass and making them humble here.
Breaking their backs, yeah.
He's still... Oh, fuck it. Oh, I love the Iron Sheik's shoot interviews.
Baby, yeah.
There was... I shouldn't be laughing because it's about Chris Benoit, but there's one clip, and I was one of the first people, along with our mutual friend Matthew, to have a video internet phone. Okay.
Sorry, that's a shout. Cactus Matt.
Shout out to Matt Diamond Dennis.
We rechristened him. He's Cactus Matt now.
He's Cactus Matt.
Yeah.
He will always be Diamond Dennis to me, man. So me and Matty had back in the day, on the 3 network, these video phones that had the internet on them, right, for the first time in the UK. And I had a load of videos that I had, like there was an internet website that is no longer around, and I downloaded so many videos from this internet website, and it was called Wrestling Gone Wrong. Have you ever heard of that website?
I thought you were going to talk about Napster or something then.
No, dude, this is Wrestling Gone Wrong, right? And it had videos on there of basically all the fucked up shit that had ever gone on in wrestling, like, you know, Psycho Sid breaking his leg, New Jack like stabbing some fucking guy in the ring multiple times, and like and trying to kill him, like standing on his head and then poking him with the fucking blades. But I had all these on my phone because I would show people and say, look, because, you know, everyone was rolling with their like 3210 Nokias and all that kind of shit, man, 8210s. And I had a fucking video phone, man. And I was like, had all these sick wrestling videos on there. And one of the videos I had on there was a little excerpt from, it was an Iron Sheik, Honky Tonk Man, and New Jack shoot interview, right? Can you imagine those 3?
All together
in one room, doing like an RF video or whatever, right? And it was the Sheik fucking going mad about Chris Benoit. Just going, you fucking piece of shit. Yeah. You'll fucking kill yourself. You fucking kill Daniel. Fucking Nancy, you fucking piece of shit. you'll fucking live near me and you'll not come see me and all this. Like, he was like in tears, bro. And the honky tonk's trying to talk, and he's like, no, fucking shut up, you fucking piece of shit. Like, it's just, the Sheik is just, oh, dude. I swear at one point he was like a crackhead as well. Smoking crack and.
Wasn't it him and someone else that broke into McDonald's one night or something, or smashed a window at McDonald's? Him and Ken Patera or something.
Nuts.
Yeah,
absolutely. The Sheik
they wouldn't serve them Big Macs or something like that late, and so they took obviously a couple of powerlifters. They got massive boulders and started launching them through the windows at the McDonald's.
Fucking loons, man. But this is the Sheik, man. Like, when I see the Sheik now in my older days, I still remember when he had Hogan in the camel clutch, trying to break his back, and then Hogan rolled him up for the 1, 2, 3 and took the title off the Sheik. But then there's this other side of the Iron Sheik.
He said he was offered a lot of money to shoot on Hogan.
Was he?
Yeah, I think it was. Obviously, I'm not sure who offered him the money, but he said that he was offered money to shoot, and
I'm sure he was offered. I'm sure he was offered an equal amount of money to put him over and all.
Yeah, and so yeah,
the Sheik still says that he started Hulkamania, so I believe him.
Fair
as
enough.
well.
Yeah, that's roundabout right.
I believe him. Fuck him in his ass, make him humble. So it's that's the Sheik to me. I've got two sides of the Sheik, and I love him. I think his Twitter account is still one of the most entertaining Twitter accounts out there, and I'm surprised he's still with us. To be honest, he's lived a life, man.
Yeah.
It must be all them clubs. Must be the clubs.
More power to him, man. Like, see that clip of him and Sting, where he's doing the clubs as well. Like, he just keep doing.
Must be the clubs, man. He's been doing that since NWA days, bro. He's been doing that since fucking Memphis, bro.
El Matador puts Hercules away with the El Paso de Monte, or as Bobby Heenan would call it, El Paso de Salsa.
It's great. Because Bobby also, he says, look at the colour he's in. And he goes, what? He's in a lovely emerald green. He goes, no, that's called El Guacamole or something.
Yeah. Heenan would get a lot of mileage out of El Matador, like later on as well, like at WrestleManias and stuff. He would just... Sarge rolls up Skinner for another 3 count. Now here's where... I don't know what happened here. Sarge is ramming Berserker's head into an exposed turnbuckle 10 times.
Yeah, and he no-sells it as well. I don't know how... The turnbuckle was removed somehow in a little bit of a schmoz after Slaughter eliminated the Sheik. Mustafa, sorry.
But 10 times he hits him into exposed turnbuckle, which would usually finish someone off after 1 hit.
Yes.
And I don't know what's... Obviously, it's a cock-up at some point. It's a little botch there. But Duggan hits his clothesline on the Berserker, and it is a squash. It's 4... all 4 men on the babyface team survive, and it was just... it wasn't very good.
I mean, you've got Skinner with like tobacco juice all around his fucking mouth as well. It just looks horrible. Like, it was disgusting. I mean,
he was chewing dog shit.
It looked like that. I mean, there's in this little bit of memorabilia for today.
Memorabilia time.
This is the WWF Series 2 sticker album, and Skinner has like a double spread in here.
Does he really?
Yeah, dude. Like, he's a big character. This is Series 2, 1991 or whatever. So, and at the time it cost 50 pence, this album. 50 pence.
Wow.
It costs you a lot more than that nowadays, let me tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was gifted this by a friend, and shout out to Chris for this album. He's moving house and he's going through all his stuff, and he said, "Yo, Chrissy, do you want this album?" I was like, "Fuck yes, I want that album."
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow, a gift.
He gave,
Crazy.
gave it to me. So shout out, Mr. Sims. Big up yourself, bro. I told you I'd give it. I told him I'd give him a mention, man. And yeah, he just gave me that last week.
Mean Gene brings out Jake the Snake Robertson. We touched on this very quickly at the beginning, but Jake comes out in this green/grey with a little bit of blue jumper, like it's almost like a Christmas jumper.
It was his nan knitted it. It was. That's what I've got written down. He's in it. He comes out in, you know, a jumper knitted by his nan, cowboy boots and leather pants.
Black leather trousers and cowboy boots, and I mean, it's healed to no end, sure, but it's like he got dressed in the dark.
He looks inebriated as well. If you look at his face, glazed eyes.
Yeah, it's not his best interview. His best interview comes at Tuesday in Texas, funnily enough. But
well, to be honest, it's not a bad one though, dude. It's
no,
not a bad interview.
But yeah, his better one comes on the Tuesday, but we're not going to talk about that today. He says to trust him, that it was an accident, and this is where some of it is good. Like Gene says, he should have been 86th for it, you know, or fired or whatever they call it. And Jake says that he spoke with God and said that God doesn't like Gene.
Yeah, it's beautiful because he goes, "You're always trying to paint me as the sinner. Well, I spoke to God this morning and he said he doesn't like you." Yeah. And it was like, wow.
It was wow. I mean, it was grasping sort of promo because you stop and listen. And yeah, it's that Savage will regret coming back and all that. Gorilla.
And oh, sorry, just quickly as well. He says he's got a great line in this that he finishes on, and he says where Mean Gene says to him, "Oh, yeah, there's no reptiles allowed at ringside, but you know." And then Jake says, "I should have you guys should have known right now that I've always been the snake that you should worry about," and it's just good. It's just very good.
Yeah. It's Gorilla says that, and this was stunned me to my core, that Tuesday in Texas would be on pay-per-view. I mean, how lucky are we?
Oh, we're extremely happy that it's available on pay-per-view. Yeah.
There's a promo vid, just sort of recapping what's been happening between Hogan and the Undertaker. Hogan was on the funeral parlor and he got jumped by Flair and Taker. And Piper and Savage made the save, I think, from that one.
Yeah, but there was I mean, this again shows how over Flair was, because Flair turned up again with the belt, you know, and he just, you know, every time Flair was involved in anything around this time in WWF, it was just great.
Well, this is the thing. When Flair rocks up to the funeral parlor and goes face to face with Hogan, he doesn't bat an eyelid. There's no star power. Like, he's not starstruck. Sorry, that's what I'm looking for. When he goes face to face with Hogan, he cuts this incredible promo, you know, telling Hogan that the butterflies in his stomach, you know, and all that stuff. It's like, I mean, Flair is on fire. He really,
he was on equal footing, at least with Hogan at this point.
If there was ever a way to judge, like, you know, whether Flair was as big a star as Hogan at this point, it's at the funeral parlor where Flair comes out and cuts his killer promo, and Hogan runs through his bit, you know, let me tell you something, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's coming up. Should have been the main event, but it wasn't, and we'll get to why. It's the Undertaker with his manager Paul Bearer against our World Wrestling Federation champion Hulk Hogan. And the pop for Hogan is something else. Something I think I've retweeted or something on Twitter. It was Hogan returning from an attack from Earthquake, and the pop he got on that show was ridiculous.
Didn't we cover that show?
We covered that show. We did SummerSlam '90.
Just go back and watch our previous episodes.
You can go back in the archive and have a look at that one. But the Hogan pop, I think, it's incredible. And it was consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gorilla Monsoon calls him the greatest pro athlete in the world today. I found that one a little bit funny. Hogan on his way.
That's the antithesis.
Yeah, he's definitely not the greatest athlete in the world. Hogan tips over the casket that was brought out to ringside. We've also got the Hogan mega fan at ringside.
Bro, this guy, yeah. But do you know what, right? I'm sorry, yeah. This guy is in my notes, right? He believes he's Hogan. I'm telling you, bro. He's there, like hyping the crowd up.
Yeah.
Turning round to the rest of the crowd and just, going crazy.
Trying to cheer him up. Yeah, it's the Hogan.
He's fucking incredible, dude. He's like Hogan's dweeby younger brother or something. Like he's
see him later on in WCW with the moustache and everything as well.
Yeah, man, he's wearing yellow hot pants, bro, as well.
Yeah, it's the Hogan mega fan. We always get one in the front row, don't we? That we pick out, and it does. Quick question: is the Undertaker the greatest ever? That's a different. Sorry.
With regards to what longevity of career,
30 years of being over, being able to reinvent himself, a few times, and stay over and stay on top. Is he one of the best? Is he the best?
I think when you get to the point, I mean, he is one of the best for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, people that don't watch wrestling still kind of know who the Undertaker is.
Yeah.
But not to the point of how they know people like Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
But that's probably because they've done other stuff out of wrestling, though. I think in wrestling terms, you've got to say that Callous Mark Calloway is, he's one of the best for sure. Absolutely. He's also with the boys. He is seen when they used to have wrestlers court. The Undertaker was the judge.
Judge, yeah, that's it. That's where you're at the top. You're the judge.
So there you go. But actually, let me tell you one time that he wasn't the judge. When there was a Divas dodgeball match, right? There was like old Divas versus new Divas. So the new Divas that weren't wrestling against the old Divas that were wrestlers, like Victoria and all them kind of people, right? I was listening to a shoot interview with her, and basically they lost a dodgeball match that was supposed to be legit. So the wrestler Divas lost the dodgeball match, putting over the new Divas that weren't workers. Okay, stay with me. So basically, the old Divas who were the wrestlers were pulled into wrestlers' court because under the charge of fucking losing what was supposed to be a legit dodgeball match to these fucking non-wrestlers, right? And usually in wrestlers' court, the Undertaker would be the judge. But at this trial, it was Triple H. So You know, and even the coach was there getting involved, and she had to turn around to him and said, "What the fuck are you even doing here? You're not even a wrestler." And she was basically saying, "Look, this was a fucking work. What the fuck are you, like, am I in a room full of marks?" Basically, like,
Yeah.
we didn't want to put them over in wrestling because they're not wrestlers. So the only way we could put them over was in a dodgeball match. So we let them win the dodgeball match. It's a fucking work. Like, and yeah, there's a whole thing about that court case. And it's just basically one of the very few cases, if maybe not the only one, where the Undertaker wasn't the judge, which is just a little bit of fucked up random trivia that no one probably really cares about, but I'm going to
There's
tell you
another
lot
story.
anyway.
There's the other one where he took the I guess it would call it wrestler's law for this case only. Took it into his own hands because Shawn Michaels was bitching about losing losing the title to Steve Austin at WrestleMania 14. And
Yes.
Taker said, you know, if you don't drop that title and put that boy over, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
Yep, he said that, and he was stuck to a monitor and telling everybody that listens as well, if he doesn't put him over, yep,
He made
I'm
sure
going to
Shawn
fucking
could
kill
see.
him.
Made sure Shawn could see him taping his fists.
Yeah.
And then the minute he put him over, he untaped his fists, got his bag, and he left the arena.
That's correct. That's fucking Taker. Great.
So that's a shout out for the Undertaker there, being just an absolute don.
There's a story about someone that bought a house off the Undertaker, and they went into the bottom basement, and there was a massive ring in there, and he had a ring in his basement.
Everyone's dream, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I think it was some pop star. It was some pop star who bought a house, and they didn't know whose house it was, and they went downstairs and there was a ring, and they asked the real estate guy, "Oh, who's that?" And they said, "Oh, it's the Undertaker. It's his house." Just random bit of fucking trivia.
So this match isn't very good. I will say that.
Can I interject again, possibly?
Of course.
It was the beginning of the building of the character of the Undertaker. So when the Undertaker came in, what year was it? What, 89?
90.
It was 90, okay?
He
And that
survived the
was what?
series at 90, yeah. So it was
Survivor Series 90, yeah. So it, the whole character of the Undertaker. I mean, people would have probably. Do you think people would have recognised him as Mark Calloway or you know, his other iterations elsewhere because he had the red hair?
possibly. I mean, I'm not saying for sure. I mean, it's Mean Mark, isn't it? Or
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, they were trying to build this whole persona, and Percy Pringle, aka Paul Bearer, was helping with that as well. But I think this match was good, where he was building the character of the Undertaker. So, excuse me, there was a lot of him looking at the camera and doing the thing with his eyes. You know, where you do the. Can you see that? Can you see the whites?
I can see it, yeah.
Right. So, it's giving me a bit of a headache. I don't know how he did that for so many years. Shout out to the Undertaker for doing that rolling your eyes into the back of your head thing, because it's fucking painful. But he, you know, where he was choking, you know, and you know, and doing the eye thing, and he was genuinely creating like a scary persona. And I thought this.
I think they'd built it for a year. He hadn't lost on TV for a year, so
He was unbeaten.
yeah. And I just think, yeah, he's already over at this point, and everyone knows what he's about. And if anything, if I'm honest, if you're going to put like place blame, you blame it on Hogan.
I would, because
dead at this point.
I mean, I just like seeing Hogan losing. First of all, the red and yellow Hogan. I just fucking. Oh man,
Yeah,
I mean, for kids,
you don't see it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know. It's very difficult because, like we've said in previous shows, that Hogan had to evolve. He had to evolve, and he left and went to WCW after a few years after this,
No,
and then he's
not.
dude.
It's old, it's faded, but I'm still repping it. It's an old Hulkamania t-shirt.
It's great, man. And it had to evolve, and it did evolve into the Hollywood Hulk Hogan. But it was just at this point. I mean, I just grimaced when I saw in this match him no sell a
Oh yeah,
tombstone
no,
power driver.
we'll get to that.
Like, I mean, you're
It's in
trying to
slow
fucking
motion.
build up.
The match is going in slow motion for me, and
It's terrible. I mean, when it is,
there's even a rest hold in there as well.
yeah,
Which bugs,
it's Sorry, go on.
it bugs me that there's a rest hold in a slow match where they're not really moving a lot. I mean, Undertaker does most of the movement, and yeah, Hogan they still put on a rest hold. There's a smatter at the start. You started to hear a smattering of cheers for the Undertaker as the match goes on, especially on that clothesline.
Oh, the flying clothesline, yeah.
Hear the cheers for that. I thought that was good.
I mean,
And
you
yeah,
know,
Hogan no sells a fucking tombstone.
yeah, it's great when Bobby Heenan's fucking salivating at the fact that Hulkamania, because he's like, Hogan tries to pick up the Undertaker and slam him, and he's like, he couldn't slam him. Hulkamania's dead, Monsoon.
Yeah.
It's just great, But yeah, he fucking, you've got Hogan's little dweeby brother trying to gas up the crowd when Hogan's on the floor, and
Yeah.
then yeah, just Hogan no sells the fucking tombstone. Like,
You can do so much like damage to someone by doing something like that. And I think he does it to Vader as well later on in WCW. He no sells a Vader bomb or something, and it just ruins the whole their whole angle.
at least
It
at
does.
least take the fucking move, right? Take the move,
Kick out
lie on
too.
the floor,
Kick out too.
and kick out. Fucking yeah, kick out, bro. Don't just
Right.
literally get tombstone power drive and then jump up like you've just shit your pants. Fucking Hogan, man.
After that, he hulks up. He goes through that whole spiel. He gets taken down to one knee, which is a big deal because Taker's barely been knocked off his feet. And here comes the real world champion in a beautiful robe, as we spoke about earlier. And
fantastic.
yeah, Flair goes straight to the timekeeper's table and picks up the championship belt. Hogan gets down there and decks him. And in the midst of all that, I think Hogan hits Taker with a boot. It's about to hit a leg drop, runs to the wrong rope because Paul Bearer's not in position.
Yep.
So Paul's got to grab the leg and distract the ref and all that.
And Flair pushes the chair in.
Yeah, he puts the chair in and hits and Taker hits Hogan with another tombstone, which you can clearly see Hogan doesn't touch the chair. And there's more on that. And we have, and this is what I love this pop because there's a new champion. Taker gets a massive cheer, and in a way, it is probably the end of Hulkamania.
It's because of Flair as well, though. I think that pop. I think the pop is for because Flair's the one that pushes the chair in, and it's like the whole schmoz of that. And fuck it, even Heenan's great in this. He's like, it's Hulk's fault for touching Flair. Like, why did he have to go out there? Flair was just down here relaxing. Like,
I genuinely think that 1991 is like the end of 91 is probably the beginning of the end for the red and yellow Hulk stuff because let's be honest, 92 he does nothing. He main events Mania 8, but that's it. 93 he steals the main event of WrestleMania 9. 94 is in WCW and they're booing him anyway.
WrestleMania 9 still to this day gets my goat. It fucking pisses me off, man. You have Bret the Hitman Hart putting in a great match. Yokozuna and Bret Hart have an absolutely fantastic match, and then Hogan just turns up and gets the belt, and it's like,
yeah, it's grim.
Fuck you, Terry man.
Our
Sorry. I get really upset.
Hogan fan, our Hogan
No,
fan is distraught at ringside. You can see his face. He looks like he wants to cry.
proper. Yeah, dude.
Heenan's doing cartwheels. He's thrilled at this.
He's talking about the punk Hulkamaniacs. He goes into like a little spiel where he ends it with these stupid little punk Hulkamaniacs with tears in their eyes. It's fucking great.
I mean, even like, and this shouldn't really bother me, but even Hogan's selling of the tombstone afterwards, like when he loses, how long does that go on for?
I know. I've even got that. He's fucking Hogan's milking it.
Yeah,
Like he's proper milking it.
He's milking the shit out of it, and he sells the tombstone to Taker as though Taker's hurt him because he kayfabes him.
Yeah.
And Taker never really forgave him for that because there's nothing wrong with him because he's going to work the Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like,
I just love Heenan just saying, "Get up, Hogan, go and make another movie." He's DOA. Tag the toe. Tag the toe.
Hey Hulk, it's over, big man.
Yeah, it's so good. And make another movie.
Did you hear the boos when Hogan left as well, when he finally got out of the ring? I don't think that was for anyone else. That was for Hogan.
Yeah.
Mean Gene is livid. He is, Roddy Piper's furious as well when he walks into shot. He calls the Undertaker and Adams family reject, which is...
Yeah. He says Lurch's friend. He says, calls Flair Lurch's friend.
We get to Sean Mooney. This is where we start to lose the show a little bit.
So, sorry, bro, just very quickly as well. Fucking... I hate to bring it up, right? But Piper mentions the Grand Wizard of the KKK. Dude,
I don't know.
Oh, shit you not. He goes, and he's, Tunny, are you watching, Tunny? And then he goes, watching that was like watching David Duke becoming president.
Yeah.
I can hear the bells ringing. And it's like, why are you mentioning the Grand Wizard of the KKK?
I suppose it's to get the interview over, but it's not great.
This is a man that painted himself half black, bruv.
Yeah, true.
He did half blackface, fam. Like, what the fuck was that? I heard David Duke being mentioned becoming president. I'm like, Roddy, what? It's too much, man. Pull up.
He's clearly had one too many hits on the old marching powder.
Dude.
Yeah. Sean Mooney's with Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect, and this is the one we were talking about. They're absolutely thrilled. Perfect saying that Hulkamania is dead and over and all of that is finished, and Flair just goes absolutely nuts. The interview that Flair gives about all those years of saying the prayers and the vitamins and all that, it's just absolutely insane. It's crazy Flair at his height, and I loved it.
I mean, again, for me, like we mentioned earlier, this is peak Flair, white hot, with also one of the greatest promo people next to him in Mr. Perfect, and it's like, Hulkamania is dead. Hulkamania is in that casket. All the years of saying the prayers and drinking the milk and all that kind of shit, Hollywood's dead. No more movies. Hogan's not immortal. He's in the hospital right now, and he's like, the intensity of this interview, it was great for me to see. I love seeing Flair in WWF because
he's brilliant.
At this time, WWF 1991, it was the show, bro. It was the show, and to have Flair, it was just such a shame that Flair wasn't there for longer.
It's only like a 2-year stint, isn't it? Really.
I mean, if that, it was one WrestleMania and some other bits either side. Really, it was
I mean, yeah, barely 2 years, but what a run! Like,
Oh, I mean, and this, like I say, Mr. Perfect, and Ric Flair together in this, it's just fucking great, man. You know, it's
yeah,
you know, and throw Heenan in the mix, who's constantly on their jock straps all the time. It's just absolutely great stuff, man. It's like, you know, the Heenan family plus Flair. It's great, you know, and even Heenan talks about later in the thing. He's like, yeah, tonight we're getting on a Learjet, Mr. Perfect, and Ric Flair and myself, and we're going to Hollywood or somewhere.
Beverly Hills, yeah.
Beverly Hills, that's right. We're going to Beverly Hills, and we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving, and then we're off to Texas. You know, it's like great stuff. Absolutely
Rick
great.
Bane's Jack Tunney as well for some reason. I can't remember why. It was just I'm caught up in the promo, I think.
It's great.
Mean Gene says that Jack Tunney is talking with Hogan right now. Now, is Hogan being a bitch here, going crying off to Jack Tunney?
Yes,
Yeah.
100 fucking percent. How many other people, when they lose the fucking title, get Tunney involved? Like, and as Tunney rightfully says, okay, as Tunney rightfully says, the referee's decision is final,
He
and
does,
I
yeah.
cannot get involved with that. Fucking punk bitch.
Yeah.
Hogan.
IRS and the natural disasters walk into shot with Gene, and they're gonna. I mean, they're not great promos. You know, Earthquake's doing his bouncing thing, and that's all fine. But they're gonna beat Legion of Doom and Big Boss Man. Jimmy Hart says it's not Jake's fault that Savage got bitten and why he can't be a part of the match.
That's right. That's right.
And
Good stuff, man.
IRS make sure that he says Tunney will be audited this year.
Mate, that's right. Tunney is definitely getting audited this year, man.
Well, I mean,
Great.
that was a good end to the promo. This next promo, on the other hand, I'm all over the place. I couldn't get anything down. It was just, they're talking about sweaty socks and all sorts here. Like, it's Doom and Boss Man there, and I've just got on the paper here. Like, it's a lot of shouting. Mooney gets bollocked as well for interrupting Hulk.
In the "Oh, what a rush." Yeah. He says, "Don't you even think about it." But yeah, I mean, Hawk's talking about you'll be in a pile of sweaty, horrible, disgusting gym socks.
Yeah, something like
And
that.
I was like, well, surely he was supposed to talk about you'll be him like garbage or, you know, natural disasters, talking about rubble or something like that.
But he says socks, yeah. So
fucking swerves, bro. Like. Also, sorry, I watched again, and I showed my missus this the other day, the LOD Legion of Doom power shake thing with Mooney, where basically you've got Hawk and Animal there showing all these things that they put in a power shake, and then as they're doing it, you've got Hawk just picking up raw eggs and just eating them whole. It's fucking great, man. Like, this promo, and my missus is like, that's disgusting. I don't want to watch that. And he's like, and then he cracks an egg in his mouth and then just eats the shell again. And they make this shake for Sean Mooney, and Mooney has to drink it. Google it, YouTube it, people. Like, it is. The Legion of Doom.
Is it better than him stroking Anvil's beard?
Oh no, nothing's better than that. That's
a classic.
Better than that.
Mean Gene is with Jack Tunney. Referee's decision is final. Thank God. But the rematch, you know, and this again another big surprise to me because I just didn't see it coming. The rematch will be at Tuesday in Texas on pay-per-view. I mean, I'm stunned.
Can I just? Do you know what my thought is on this, bro? Right. I honestly feel that Hogan has said, right. I mean, I don't understand why they gave Taker the title, first of all, unless they were going to let him have a little run. But I reckon Hogan's just pushed for this Tuesday in Texas thing.
I'm guessing they did it so they could vacate it and have it so Hogan wouldn't have to lose to Flair at the Royal Rumble or beforehand, and they could just do Flair could win a vacant title.
I mean, but it's all fucking bollocks, man. Yeah, it's all fucking bollocks. But like, Hogan's notorious for not putting people over. bro. It's fucking notorious.
Well,
Like,
it's funny you mention that because after our WrestleMania 9 rant just then, he doesn't want to put Brett over later on
no,
at the SummerSlam.
you
Yeah.
know,
So
you
it's,
talk about fucking doing business, man. Do fucking business, man. Don't like, create problems and all these scenarios that then have to have just weird fucking things going on just so people are fucking filleting you, man, because you don't want to put people over. And it's like, surely I mean, that makes him a fucking mark, bro.
yeah. He's no better than us.
He's no fucking better than us, man. He's the shit on our shoes, I tell thee. He's, and don't get me wrong, Hogan is Hogan, man. But
I mean,
when you know
he's
what
gone
you
through it
know,
over the years, isn't he? With his,
yeah, man, but when you know what you know,
fighting.
there's notorious characters in wrestling that are just fucking jerks to work with sometimes, where they just believe their own shit, man. Hogan's one of them. Shawn Michaels was another one that just created problems for people when
Let's be
it
honest.
came to
There's
them.
a lot in the UK. Let's not get that twisted.
Oh yeah, don't get but
Yeah.
they just don't like putting people over, man.
Jack Tunney says he'll be at ringside for Tuesday, and I mean he'll
To
play.
make sure it's all fair.
Yeah, sure.
What the fuck is Tunney gonna do?
Yeah.
What's Tunney gonna do? He's a man in a suit. Taker's shitting himself.
Bobby Heenan's convinced Hogan will lose again.
Heenan's pissed.
Yeah,
Heenan's pissed.
There's a rematch this quick. Taker should be given, a few weeks off, and all this, and it's quality stuff from Heenan.
He's like, did anyone even ask the Undertaker? He's like, he might not want to defend it then. He might want to wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like, did anyone ask him?
This is where we get to the point where this is why they did the title change in the middle of the show, because now they have at least an hour or so to hype this Tuesday in Texas to the fucking moon, and that's what they do. They spend the next hour or so just going on and on and on about. Like at one point, I've even got that Heenan and Monsoon lose it a little bit because all they're doing is talking about Tuesday in Texas. They've almost forgotten what's going on in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, this Tuesday in Texas thing, it wouldn't be done again until like 2004 with Taboo Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah. Wow.
So, what we could do is actually we'll do Tuesday in Texas, but then we'll actually do Taboo Tuesday, because Taboo Tuesday was like one of those cyber ones, where it was like
yeah,
the voting online and all that kind of shit, which I have Taboo Tuesday as well.
whether or not legit or not the voting,
Well, I don't think it was, man. It's like when they were picking out the fucking WCW team that was going to represent WCW, just had Mean Gene with one of them like tombola ball things, pulling out bits of paper, and it's like he could just read whatever the fuck he wanted on the.
Yeah, it's like picking Stone Cold's number at Royal Rumble '99 all over again.
That's correct, man. That's fucking.
Which you can also see in our archive bit on YouTube.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, check that out.
One of our best episodes, I think, man. That
was a good one, really good one. Our next match, the Beverly Brothers with the Genius, always love the Genius, and the Nasty Boys with Jimmy Hart take on the Bushwhackers. Fuck me, man. The Bushwhackers. And their tag team partners for the evening, the Rockers.
Yes. For all our non-video viewers, Jordan is holding up the Hasbro's MOC, mint on card, Rockers.
In Spanish, I might add.
In Español.
Yeah, that's right. They are here officially known as Rockeros.
Rockeros.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels. Marty Jannetty.
Con el Super Rockero Marty.
Marty.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and the price tag on this, I don't know if you can see it, in euros, 150.
Wow.
Yeah, €1.50.
Or what was that bought? Where was that bought?
It's a good question.
Did you buy it at like a car boot sale or something? Or
I get the feeling I might have to ask my mum because I think she might have bought it for me.
yeah,
because
I mean,
mum knows. Mum knows the habit.
Mum knows, man. Mum knows. I mean, that is that's a great bit of merchandise.
That's a
Shout out again.
Shout out to my mum. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Jordan's mum, and also shout out to Renee Hadjek as well in the WWF Hasbro universe and the WWF Hasbro generation. They'll love that in that group. A nice mint on card rockers, especially en Espanol. It's like a European based group. A lot of guys are from Austria, Germany, and around those ways. So shout out to them, man.
This crowd is died in this match.
Yeah,
I've got here. The crowd is dead, and the Bushwhackers suck. So I don't know.
Hey, come on, man! Like they were getting little pops and that, dude. Like,
well, yeah. I mean, I think Butch gets a little pop with it because he shows some fire on a hot tag, but like, yeah, oh man, like they do suck. Let's be honest.
Let's also shout out to Bobby the Brain Heenan, who when the Rockers jump in, he calls them Laverne and Shirley.
Vernon Shirley. And also, he loses it when they say that Luke is the brains of the team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Luke, he just can't help himself.
The referee is Danny Davis as well. Dangerous Danny Davis, I believe, in this match.
Dangerous Danny.
Dangerous Danny.
It's like I said, the crowd's dead, and it's not a good match. Like to start with, Nobbs gets rid of Luke pretty quickly, and then this is where the commentary team just go on and on about Tuesday, and you almost sort of you've lost the action in the ring because they just keep talking about Tuesday. What's going to happen with Hogan? What's going to happen with the Undertaker? And the fans don't care about this match either still. And I've got even Heenan and Monsoon have switched off a little. Butch does get a hot tag, shows a little bit of oomph, I guess, before he gets eliminated by the Beverly Brothers from their weird finishing move.
Actually on that one, the Beverly Brothers, it was like they called it like a spike slam or something, right? Yeah. But there's actually many a video on YouTube of one of them is just called "Holy Shit, Beverly Brothers nearly killed Jobber," and
dangerous.
Oh, it's fucking like they almost kill and break people's necks with that finisher. The Beverly Brothers were quite disrespectful to the enhancement talent, and they almost
heard that one of the Beverly Brothers is like, I think someone else is shooting me. He said he's one of the nicest guys in the business, probably too nice as well. They've said.
What, one of the Beverly Brothers?
Yeah, I can't remember which one. I'm going to say Bo.
Yeah, because you got like Blake and Bo, because Bo was the one with the scar on his face.
Yeah, Bo, the one they're talking about is Bo.
Oh right, they say he's nice.
Yeah, so he's one of the nicest guys in the business. Like, sort of like would have gone a lot further if he knew how to play the game. Kind of like the Patriots.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, I think when I watch these videos of them almost killing jobbers.
Yeah, you're not so sure.
I'm not so sure on that one, but yeah, you know, it is what it is.
The tassel count on the Rockers is pretty high.
Fucking tassel count, yeah. I think that's also, that's why Virgil was probably up there, because he had a little bit of tassel action going on.
Bo gets pinned with a backslide. Like I said, the finishes in these Survivor Series matches are they're just not very good. There's just like dodgy, like odd pins, roll ups, stuff like that. And Gorilla Monsoon gets a little dig in at Marty Jannetty, saying, "Is that an alligator army sticking out for the tag? Come on, Marty!" Like, yeah.
Fuck, Gino. Tell him how it is, baby.
Sean's taking the beating, and Marty's not exactly thrusting his arm out for a tag. And this is it. This is the siege of the breakup of the Rockers.
The beginning of the end.
Exactly. And I mean, there's so much to talk about on, that heel turn and how excellent that was. But that's another day. That's not coming yet. Sean Marty picks up one of the Nasty Boys, I think it is, for a body slam, ends up clipping Sean in the face, and Sean gets rolled up again and gets eliminated. And Sean blows up at Marty, gives him a little shove, and then a little bit heelishly throws him into the Nasty Boys and says, go get him, Marty.
Yeah.
And it's 3-on-1 at this point, isn't it?
It is Blake of the Beverly Brothers and the Nasty Boys.
Yeah. Bobby calls Jannetty an egomaniac, thinking he can do it on his own. Yeah.
That's right.
And Bobby just, he's saying that they don't get along, and read the magazine.
Yeah.
See it all the time.
But I think they were setting up. Heenan was setting up for Shawn Michaels to come back as a heel.
Yeah.
To come back as the sexy boy with, because they set him up with Sherry.
Yeah, that heel turn is incredible. That's one of the greatest heel turns ever, for sure.
Also, there's a story I've got on the original Strong Style tapes. Yeah, I've got an original Shawn Michaels interview from a time where he was out of the WWF for whatever reason.
What year? Because I think around 99, he was sent home for turning up in no condition.
It was around that. It might have even been earlier than that, man. But it might have been 99.
Yeah.
And there's a shoot interview with him where he's chewing tobacco and spitting into a cup, and he's talking, and he's talking about the reasons why they the Rockers, because something happened and Marty went to WCW and spoke with them and said about them going to WCW, and then but didn't have anything set up.
Yeah.
And then because they were going to ask for more money or something. It's a weird story, but it's on YouTube as well. So type in Shawn Michaels shoot interviews, short talks about Marty Jannetty or whatever. You always give me the questions on the spot.
Go on then.
So I'm going to give you a question on the spot. What are your honest thoughts about Marty Jannetty? Do you think with a bit more of a push, he could have actually been a more successful singles wrestler? Because I thought he actually was quite a good talent technically.
Technically, he's very good. I'll give you that. Like, there is a move in here where I think he reverses an Irish whip into a drop toe hold, which just looked picture perfect. I really liked it. But no, I think Jannetty sort of his main sort of run was always going to end after losing a feud with Shawn Michaels. I don't think he was any better than that. Like, he won the Intercontinental title from Shawn, like, that was great. But I never really felt that he was going to go any further than that. And I don't see how he could have gone further than that.
He tagged with Al Snow, bro. How much higher can you get?
For those that are listening and not watching, I'm about to put my head in my hands because he mentioned Al Snow.
And that's exactly why I mentioned Al Snow, because they had the New Rockers. You remember them?
The New Rockers, yeah. And Jannetty's not. He was perfectly fine feuding with Shawn, but he was never going to go any further than that. And unless you've got something else you want to, unless you've got some new ideas for Marty Jannetty.
I don't know, man. I think they could have probably given him a push, but it was always going to be either one of them making it. I don't think you could have both of them have a successful singles career really after that. And let's be honest, I mean, as people, as contenders in the ring go, and as wrestlers go, you can't really get much better than Shawn Michaels of what he's capable of in the ring. And
this is exactly it. You're always destined to be in Shawn's shadow now. And because Shawn can eclipse almost anyone on a given night in the 90s, he can, he even on purpose, he's trying to blow people up and like make them look silly because he can. He's that fucking talented. Whereas Marty just went the other way.
Have you? I'm going to get a little bit controversial now.
Hot take.
Hot take. Have you heard the rumors about fucking Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon possibly having a sexual relationship?
You hear them on the interviews and stuff, and you read them once or twice. I'm not going to jump off the fence on that. I don't think there's no point dying on that hill. Yeah.
I was going to say that's not a hill you're going to die on.
Not a chance. That is just. I think it's probably one of those like wrestling tales, like the same thing when everyone used to say that the Ultimate Warrior was dead and stuff, and it'd been like it was a Texas tornado who came out in the face paint at WrestleMania 8 and stuff like that. Like
there's so many like wrestling rumors, isn't there? And loads of them are like some people take it as like accepted, like the one where people say that Macho Man Randy Savage slept with Stephanie McMahon.
Well,
there's the one that Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon have had a sexual relationship. There's like you say the Ultimate Warrior one. There's so many like wrestling's. It's such a fucking weird world, isn't it? Like it's
the wrestling world, isn't it? It's
so weird.
It's mad and off key, but you love reading about it. You love seeing it.
Damn. Did we just become a dirt sheet for a second?
No, because we didn't say whether it was true or not. We just
allegedly, as Ali G would say, allegedly.
Well,
yeah?
To be honest, Meltzer and them, they don't really give facts anymore, do they? They just grade matches and talk about how everything sucks in the WWE. So yeah.
So anyway, Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels. This was the beginning of the end, and this was the start of, because they'd always discussed between themselves that obviously one day they would split and try and go single.
Well, yeah, they would sort of have to if they were going to move up, because tag team wrestling, whilst good, wasn't the big money.
Do you not think that fucking do you know how it started? Was because they went and did some video for the music of WWF. They both went and done it all started where they went to do something, and all the individual singles wrestlers got paid, say, $500, but then they got $500 for the pair of them that they had to split.
Yeah.
And then it was something like, right, no, fuck it, we're not doing this forever kind of thing. Let's just fucking try and do it now.
Well, they probably weren't making LOD money, so they had to get out there, and it's not like the Rock and Roll Express or anyone like that who just stay together forever.
Another question: are the Rockers one of the tag teams that you feel definitely should have had a title run?
No, not for me.
You don't think so?
There were other teams around them and it could. It would take me ages, but I feel like I could explain why they wouldn't need it. They were good as challengers, but.
Oh, you mean bastard!
Sorry,
I thought they would. Yeah, but the thing is, weren't there a story that they actually won the title for one night, but then it was on some house show or something?
They won the titles, but the rope broke. I think it is out there. It's available.
That's correct. The rope broke. That's correct. And then they give them back, and then they just pretended that it never happened.
Yeah, I think they just said, one of the rules, go into the old rule books of wrestling and said, the rope broke, so it can't be official. Like, silliness like that. But no, I just think that there were other teams around them that had more about them to hold the titles and could do more of it. The Rockers would always be. I think they were probably too small as well at that time. Just
At that time, yeah.
Yeah,
You're probably right.
they weren't heels, and you know, I mean, the world right now has a cocky tag team that are small and that, and they're not my favourite tag team in the world. I think that's pretty obvious, and I don't really rate them either. So, say what you
Are we
will.
talking about the female ones or the male ones?
Male,
Okay.
yeah,
Say nothing, fam. Say nothing.
yeah. um, and neither of those guys in that tag team are going to go anywhere near Shawn Michaels' career. So, yeah, we move on. Tag team wrestling. I mean, it's still pretty good at this point. They're selling Tuesday again, and Tuesday in Texas. They're trying to get it over. They're trying their best. It's not, you know. Did they even release that on VHS? I think we spoke about this.
I don't think they did release it. I think they probably, if they did release it, they released it in America and America only. I tell you what, let's Tuesday in Texas, VHS. From what I remember, I think maybe just right. Okay, I think it was on the Super Tape '92.
Oh, okay, Super Tape. Wow.
Super Tape '92, featuring the Tuesday in Texas pay-per-view.
Bloody hell. There you go.
So I actually have that, and I don't know why I didn't remember. So what was the other matches in that Tuesday in Texas? You had Jake the Snake Roberts versus Macho Man, Hogan versus The Undertaker,
Brett and
Bret
Skinner, I think. Yeah.
Bret Skinner, yeah, and
A
I think
tag
there was
match.
only 4 or 5.
I think there was a tag match on there as well. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Right, so it was on the Super Tape '92.
Yeah. IRS and Natural Disasters with Jimmy Hart taking on Legion of Doom and the Boss Man in what is now our main event.
And this was a fucking limp dick of a match as well.
I think the booking was all wrong, if I'm honest.
The booking was wrong. Yeah, I mean,
we'll get to it. Yeah, the booking is.
Yeah, it should have been a stronger. It should have been a stronger finish to push the. We'll get to it.
And yeah, there's a nice pop for Boss Man, and then we get a Road Warrior pop, which is off the charts as usual.
Yeah, dude.
We get to our runner-up of the ICO Pro Award for the evening, and that's Hawk, because he's pretty jacked here as well.
No, it's all those raw eggs that he's eating, dude, in the power shakes, bro, with the prune juice with Mooney. Watch the video, man. Yeah.
The power shakes with the raw eggs that he eats, like just.
He just eats raw eggs, dude, and they're talking about they put oysters in it and they put this in it and that in it, and dude, he just literally is just picking up eggs and just fucking eating them raw.
Jesus.
It's great.
We get a little bit from Gorilla Monsoon saying that Sean Mooney is with Hulk Hogan, and we will get back to him as soon as we can. And yeah, like that actually leads to nothing, which is a bit weird. IRS pins the Boss Man after using the briefcase. It's a pretty sound. It's probably one of the better finishes in the Survivor Series matches. We get a hot tag to Hawk, and this is where the match falls apart, because IRS hits Typhoon with a briefcase, gets eliminated. Earthquake gets livid and helps Typhoon walk out, and they just leave. But there is one more bit in from Bobby Heenan before we go. He goes, "You can come to my Thanksgiving dinner, Gorilla. Only $8."
Yeah. he also talks about, he says about Detroit, and he keeps going, "Oh no, I can't wait to get out of here." And he goes, and Monsoon's like, "What's wrong with Detroit?" He's like, "Do you live here?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Well, there you go." And he goes, "There's one good thing."
Holiday in Detroit.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, there's one good thing about Detroit, and that's the fact it's got an airport and that I can get out of here in the morning."
Yeah. But this is the bit where the booking goes wrong, because it's now two baby faces against one heel, which never works. And I've got here, Iris is pretty valiant in his defeat. He fights
Oh,
hard.
and that's right. He holds his own, and it's
Yeah.
like, why would you why would you do that? Because you're just going to get people going to have,
You almost want to
they're
cheer
going to
on
feel bad for
Iris.
him. Yeah.
And he's going 2 against 1 against the tag team champions, which is pretty fucking rough as it is. He tries to walk out himself. Boss Man turns up in the aisleway and ushers him back in. And the flying clothesline from Hawk wins the match. Like you said, it's a pretty limp dick of a match. It's your main event when it probably should have been the first match. If they were going to go that system, they probably should have put Flair on last.
They should have had, but then is it then taken away from the whole fucking? Is it again them just blowing Hogan and just keep? They don't want to take away from that Hogan angle, so they,
Well, yeah, they carry on talking about it. Like the minute Hogan drops the belt, that's all they talk about. And we do cut back to Sean Mooney, and he's not got Hogan with him.
Oh, so who wins the match? So we've got basically IRS holds his own for a bit.
Yeah, then Hawk hits that flying clothesline.
That's right. He is a flying clothesline. He tries to walk out. Bossman returns. They suplex him back into the ring, and then basically they do the 1, 2, 3, and LOD win.
And Hogan is not with Sean Mooney, but Sean Mooney says that Hogan, told him all this thing. I was like, if you're hyping a pay-per-view for 3 days' time or whatever it was, this Tuesday, wouldn't you be the guy to hype it yourself?
When I rewatched this and I saw this bit, they were hyping. They were saying in the middle of that last match, Mooney's caught up with Hogan. He's out the back. So you think, right, at the end of this,
you're going to get a Hogan interview, yeah.
You're going to get a Hogan interview that's going to hype it up, and he's going to be there with a fucking bandage on his head, right? He's going to be there, bandaged up, Let me tell you something, Sean Mooney. Well,
he didn't get an interview with Hogan before the match.
No.
And you don't get one after. He's
sulking. He's a fucking punk bitch.
Quite possibly.
He's sulking.
And he doesn't. It's either he doesn't bother to do the interview, or that's how they've written it. I'm not sure which way it's going.
Sean Mooney does a Hogan impression, and he says, "Hulk Hogan said to me, brother, I'd rather do all my talking in the ring on Tuesday."
Yeah, I'm sure he said exactly those words.
We don't want to hear Sean Mooney say that. If anything, we want to hear Hogan come out with his bandaged face and fucking do some roided up promo with his, come on, man, at least give us that.
And they cut away to Gorilla and Monsoon. They put up the little Titan Sports thing at the bottom to say that the show's ending, but we're not finished. We get an extra segment with Mean Gene in the basement of the Joe Louis Arena.
In the catacombs.
Yeah, in the bowels.
That's right.
The Undertaker and Paul Bearer. And Paul Bearer says nothing is immortal, and they'll eviscerate Hogan on Tuesday. The embalming's going to take place. All that, Undertaker-y stuff. And Undertaker gets his bits in. I love it when he calls him Mr. Okerlund. Doesn't call him...
brilliant.
Yeah. Calls him Mr. Okerlund. He shows him what's in the coffin that they've got there. And Tuesday will be the burial. And we get a gong, and that's it.
I thought that promo was really great. Even Paul Bearer, oh, Mr. Okerlund, nothing is immortal, not even Hulk Hogan. It died tonight, It's
really good.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
And that's our lot. That's Survivor Series 91. There is a Tuesday in Texas. We have mentioned that our time was pretty limited this week, so we didn't get a chance to watch it. And I'm sure we will bring that to everyone maybe in a couple of weeks' time. We like to do the rotation of WWF/E, mainly F, and then WCW, and then who knows, maybe even ECW. I think they've put some more ECW shows on the network lately, so it'd be nice to check those out.
Oh,
Yeah.
I keep pushing to watch a specific ECW show, and I mention it all the time because it is one of the maddest ECW shows. It's it's absolutely crazy. And I had it. It had Jericho. It had so many people on there, and it's one that Matter of Respect '96. Okay.
Okay.
It is, and that is one. Have a look on the network, dude, and see if you've got it, because I have it on VHS and I also have it on DVD. So um, if it's not on the network, I can lend you the DVD
This is
or the
a
VHS.
Spring Stampede thing where he has 2 copies because he loves it so much.
Dude, I've got to have my dual media. You know, I've got my Delta DVD of Matter of Respect '96. Really, really great. Absolutely batch shit crazy event. Littered with stars. Absolutely littered with stars. So that is one that if we're going to do an ECW show, the first one, I really would like it if it could be Matter of Respect '96.
Yeah,
But yeah, we'll switch it up.
we love
We're going to do huh?
we love to change things up. We love to keep it, a little bit fresh, a little bit different. Like no one wants to hear us talk about WWF 2 weeks in a row. They want to hear some WCW. They want to
That's correct.
talk about the NWA. All that really great stuff on the other side of the well, not even the other side of the country. They were both East Coast, weren't they? But
Yeah, I mean, one was kind of south, one was kind of north. You know.
We will take our last few moments to thank everyone that's still watching, everyone that's watched all the other shows. We've got some. I mean, for us, it's ridiculous views on these other shows, like recently, and we can't thank you guys enough for sticking around watching it. Even if you're watching it in bits and pieces, or using it to fall asleep to. The insomniacs, where are you at? Like, show yourselves.
Yeah, man.
Hit the subscribe button. Remember, everybody, hit the subscribe button. Like we said before, it's free. It's, you don't have to have the notifications up if you don't want. I personally think you should, because that way you get to know exactly when we're on. And there will be giveaways once we hit the right number of subscribers. And you only have to see my pictures online. You have to see some of Chris's memorabilia like every week. We got some good shit to give away. Really good shit.
We have, and we really want to get it to the point. We just need to, we're trying to literally build this from the ground up. This podcast, we've literally built it from out of nothing. So we're trying to get it to the point where you will have myself and Jordan sitting on a couch next to each other with a nice, lovely green screen background, with the Survivor Series thing behind us, or the Chat Grapple and Cheap Pops podcast thing behind us. We want to keep leveling up. We want to keep, at the moment, I think this is the format that we're doing because we started it during the coronavirus and we were doing it via video link and stuff. But we want to then up the levels. But then, we want to do it gradually. We don't want to run before we can walk. But also, when we start doing the live studio version, we want to be able to, because it's going to be a better camera, we probably have 2 cameras running, it's going to be a better quality. That's when we want to be able to give the stuff away then, and then we can have guests on. We can have, shout out one of the regular listeners, my buddy, Max, not the Hulk Hogan.
Not the Hulk.
He is, lovely bloke, friend for a long time listener. He listens to I'm gonna call him out as well. He says to me, look, you have to put this podcast out on Friday because it gets me through the week, and things like that. Hearing that is just lovely and then I got a message on Friday and it was literally this: fuck's sake, you son of a bitch, where's my podcast? It was literally that. So Max, apologies. And he rang me today as well, because I said to him, yeah, we're doing it on Tuesday. And he was like, you fucking bitch. You meant Tuesday. You meant you're doing it on Tuesday. It's not going to be out by Tuesday. Like, he's still like fiending for the podcast. So, you know, it's really great that we've got, and like I say, shout out to Maxi every single time. He's another guy that I've wrestled with, and he's chopped the shit out of me on numerous occasions and dragged me around by my dreads and beaten the crap out of me. Spine busted me. He's got a spine buster equal to Arne. You know, like no one has spine busted me like my buddy Max. So shout out to Big Man. You know, and it's just lovely to hear that people are listening to it and liking it and enjoying it. And like Jordan's saying, the views we're getting is just, for us, it's just phenomenal. But like I say, if we can just get that subscriber count up, once we get that subscriber count up, we can then start plunging more. Because at the moment, we're just putting our own money into this, and it's fine. You know, it's not a problem.
That's the other thing. You know, we're gonna, you know, wrestling's gonna come back. Live wrestling's gonna be back really soon. And we're going to want to go. We're going to want to show everyone, you know, what we're seeing, which is, you know, albeit it's a lot of local stuff in our area. We're going to bring that to everyone, and hopefully they can see what we see.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of that on the internet, and especially, you know, we will be able to, you know, if people don't know, there are meet and greets after all these local little shows. They do meet and greets and that, you know, and we will have the fucking camera running, man. We will be getting live footage of going across the line and meeting these guys, getting the autographs, having them say a little word, you know, and you know it's going to come when we're going to get one of these guys to be like, welcome everyone, this is fucking Gangrel, and you're listening to Chat, Grapple and Cheap Pops podcast.
I think it's more that someone's going to cut a promo on us, but yeah.
I love it, man.
Shooting.
Yeah, as long as it's not shooting, man, fuck it, you know. But yeah, this is what our aim is, you know. But we just really appreciate everybody, our subscribers. You know, even a week or so ago, you know, maybe 3 weeks ago, we were on like 150. You know, we're on like nearly 350 subscribers now, and for us, it might not seem a lot.
It's more than that, dude. We're over 4.
Yeah, we're on 435 or something now, or, you know. So have a look. Should we have a look?
442.
442, man. Fuck yeah. You know, and for two guys like us, you know, we're trying to build it up. This ain't no, you know, we're not at the levels of some other podcasts, but I think our content's good. I think we keep it real. I think we have a laugh. You know, we go off on tangents, and that's what it's all about. And once we can up the subscriber count, we can then up the production value on it, which is what we're aiming to do. And we want to get about a little bit more. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's subscribed. Big up yourselves. Please, anybody who's watching this, just tap that subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit it now. Do it now.
Hit it.
Come on, do it. Do it now. Fucking elbow drop that fucking subscribe button right now. Or actually, no. Finger poke of doom. Do it.
Oh, no. We're not going to talk about that, are we?
Not today, baby, but we will.
That's coming. So that's it from us. We will endeavour to meet, you know, a bit of a time schedule that helps it better for everyone else. But like we said before, we both work. We both have very different schedules, and they don't always line up. So we do this when we can, and it's a lot of fun for us. So we're still going to do it when we can. So
yeah, fucking A, man. You know, we're still going to do it when we can. And to be fair though, Jay, we do try and bang out one a week. There's not many weeks that we don't put one out. And I mean, even though it's been a struggle this week to get together and do it, you know, I think we're only just over a week now where we've, you know, like a few days over, you know, so it's going to happen from time to time. But then other weeks we've banged out 2 within 10 days.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're trying to do it. We're trying to not leave the people jonesing for it. Shout out Maxi. You're going to have your podcast soon, baby.
It's coming,
You know,
Matt.
and yeah,
It's coming.
it's coming. It's coming. So, yeah, man, it's been another great one. We've had a laugh. I've enjoyed it, as always.
Yeah, been brilliant. And I suppose we'll see everyone next week.
See everyone next
We
week.
haven't figured out
This
what
is
we're watching yet, but we will
no,
we'll let you know.
we haven't even spoke about it. But yeah, catch us on YouTube. Chat Grapple and Cheap Pops podcast on YouTube. Chat with us on Twitter at Chat Grapple Pops on Twitter. Check us out on various podcast platforms: Podbean, Spotify, Deezer, Castbox, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Listen Notes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, all that good shit there. And we will see you next week for another Chat Grapple and Cheap Pops podcast. Thank
Take
you
care,
everyone for
guys.
watching.
Stay safe.
Take care.